going on, everybody? This is James over from Livethrugames, and I'm here to give you a couple of my gameplay matches from Destiny's Iron Banner and give you a quick little prep guide about it in case you don't know what you're getting into, and give you my initial impressions. And if you were wondering, I am the sexy hunter you see right there in the middle holding the flag with the dead orbit shader, and I'm also a level 30 with the full raid gear. Okay, so the most important thing you should know is the level advantages have been buffed big time compared to the first Iron Banner, which is great because that is what we wanted as a player base. We wanted lower level players to have a harder time against guys who put the effort in to get the better gear, and that's what they did. So if you are a lower level Guardian, then you're going into this, be prepared to be a little frustrated because you're going to have a hard time killing us guys with the higher level gear. They're also giving out some great prizes this time compared to the first time. They're giving 2 pieces of legendary gear per class that actually have light level 30 on them, which means they are equivalent to the raid pieces, which is awesome for 2 reasons. The first reason is players who have done the raid a whole bunch of times and have just been unlucky and not able to grab the final piece of raid gear that they need. Believe me, I was one of them for a little while. My buddy, who's played just as long as me, still doesn't have all the raid pieces. We'll be able to finally get to level 30 if they put the effort in to do this. So if you're one of those guys, get on the Iron Banner and stick it out, and you're guaranteed to get that piece of gear that you need. And the other reason that that's great as a prize is it's going to ensure that players that are not level 30 are going to do this. When I initially heard about the Iron Banner, I figured that players that weren't high level were just going to ignore it and not do it because they'd rather not get dominated. But having a strong piece of gear that you can win like that in there will ensure that players lower level will jump in and play too, and it'll be as it's intended to be, which is that some players are going to have an advantage over others based on how much they've worked the game. Now, to prepare for the Iron Banner, the first thing you should do is understand how the advantages and disadvantages work. The first thing is your health. Now, your health is not just determined based on what your level is, it's determined by your gear's defense score, which means that just because you are level 28 fighting against someone else who is level 28, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the same amount of health as them. If you have a set of gear that pushes you to almost 29 versus someone who is a brand new 28, you will have more health than them because you have more defense. So obviously this means you want to equip every piece of gear you got that pushes your light level as high as it can go. Even if it doesn't push it over to a new number, wear whatever you got to have as much as you got. Me, personally, here, when I play PvP, I always use Dead Orbit's shoulder pads instead of the Raid shoulder pads because it reloads hand cannons faster. But because of how it's working, I push myself up more to give myself a little bit of health, and I sacrifice the fast reload speed. The other thing you need to know is how the damage of the guns work, and that is based completely off of the attack power of the weapon. What this means is you do not want to use any guns in this that are blue or lower because they just cannot compare to the legendary and exotic weapons firepower as far as attack power goes. So guns like Shingani and Painted Big Chief and things like that are still great for regular PvP, even though they're only rare weapons, they're going to get wrecked in this game type. You don't want to do it, you want to stick with that. And if you have certain guns that you want to bring in for sure that are legendary or exotic that you don't have maxed, I suggest taking them into the PvE and finding the materials and resources that you need to push them up all the way, because this is a game where if you lose, you get nothing, and you want to have every advantage you can get, otherwise you're wasting your time. Another great thing that you need to consider is to play with a couple of friends that you know, like I'm doing right now. My buddy Bamf, who was the guy who waited on the heavy ammo for me to grab you saw earlier, and my friend Oniperd, who I met through the raid in our raid team. Both of them are very solid hunters, just as good as me, and it definitely is an advantage to go into the game playing with other players that you know what they're doing and work well with you, because this is a shooting game, and especially game types like Control, talking and communication is probably the most important thing you can have outside of just straight up game skill. So another thing you should probably consider is in the patch notes for the game, I read that Bungie is trying to implement a way where teams that have full groups will get matched up more with teams with full groups. So maybe you should go into the Iron Banner with a group that is not full, like say 3 or 4. And you might get lucky and play against a full team of people who are completely random and not communicating, because that's a big advantage again, and this is the Iron Banner, you only get rep for winning. But don't worry, if you lose, Bungie has also done something to help out with people and their quitting problems, and that is they give you something called an Iron Medallion when you lose. And what this does is you stack them and hold them in your inventory up to 5, and the next time you win a game, you will redeem these for some of the reputation that you missed out on for losing the match. This will ensure that people won't quit because they at the very least will get this medallion for the time they put in instead of just leaving because they know it's hopeless. So this team right here that we're playing against, we're obviously murking them right now. These guys probably would have left the Iron Banner because they would have known it was pointless, but because they're at least getting that, maybe a couple of them stayed. So use these tricks to your advantage and get ready for it and get that gear. They're also giving out some great guns. You can get a couple of weapons from Lord Shaxx for Glimmer also. I believe it's a scout rifle and a fusion rifle. I really don't care about those because I'm a pretty much exclusive hand cannon user and I really only use shotguns and snipers for my secondaries. So he's also giving out a couple of guns you can get as random loot drops for each match you play. I really want the Timber's Lash hand cannon, and these guns are cool because they come with random perks on them, so they can have anything. And you can also trade in a couple of resources to the main Iron Banner guy in the tower, and he will re-roll these perks for you. So you can get these guns, and you can continuously re-roll them and get exactly what you as a player wanted them, so they can be kind of like your own personal weapon, which is awesome. So I definitely am looking for this hand cannon just for that reason. So I loaded up 2 gameplay videos here. This is the end of the first one. Go ahead and check out the second one, which is starting right now. I didn't play quite as good as the first one, but I still think it's worthy of watching. I had like a 3.5 KD. I'm going to upload this video to Livethrugames YouTube account so I can put it on the site and you guys can watch it. Like, rate, and subscribe to our channel. My buddy and my brother, they do videos on the channel where they talk about Livethrugames and talk about what's going on in the gaming world, and they also write articles and stuff just like I do on the main page. So check those out and keep up with us. I think it's a pretty cool thing that we like to do for fun because we're just a group of normal guys that play games and have lives outside of it, and we just talk about what we think, and it's better than an opinion of someone, you know, just in the industry and trying to sell you something. You know, we're not making money off of any of this stuff. We're not, you know, you can trust reviews that we put out of games versus things like IGN. I know a lot of people like to think that companies like that sell out and will pay money to websites to review their games. Well, we don't get money from anyone like that, so what we say about a game, you know, is what we think about it for sure. So like, check it out, and thanks for watching this, guys. Good luck in the Iron Banner. They're giving out some great stuff, and I hope you're lucky enough to roll it.
Zone B neutralized. You captured Zone B. Gained the lead. Heavy ammo on the way. Heavy ammo available. Zone B lost. You captured Zone B. Zone C lost. Zone C captured. Enemy captured Zone B. Zone B neutralized. Enemy captured Zone B. Heavy ammo inbound. Heavy ammo available. Zone A neutralized. Only 5 minutes left. Enemy captured Zone A. Zone B neutralized. You captured Zone B.